Alright everyone, you know what day it is today. It's Tuesday, so let's start that 2-minute counter, but first, let's roll the intro. So today's 2-minute Tuesdays is how much deposit do I need to buy my first home, and hopefully I'm going to be within this 2-minute counter because the last 5 videos that I've done I've always been over, but let's make it short and easy. 2 minutes, let's start the counter. So how much deposit do you actually really need to buy your first home? Well, the ideal amount is 20% deposit, but with house prices skyrocketing, you can't even imagine how much you need to save for that first home. Let me give you an idea. If you buy $1 million home with 20% deposit, you will need to save $200,000. So the ideal is 20% deposit, but you can actually buy a home with less than that, around 10%. You could even go lower, but there are going to be substantially more cost involved. These are the most common ways to build your deposit. It can be through your Kiwisaver, your own cash savings, your first home grant if you're eligible for it, parents, so mum and dad, by way of gifting, and also if you sell down any assets such as your car, you can sell it down. That can go towards your deposit. So let me give you a quick example. Let's say that you want to buy a house that's going to cost you $1 million and you need to have 20% deposit. That 20% deposit comprises of the following: $50,000 from your own savings account, $50,000 from Kiwisaver, $100,000 from mum and dad, and that means that you need to borrow $800,000 from the bank. So 80% comes from the bank, 20% comes from you, so 5% from your savings, 5% from Kiwisaver, and 10% from mum and dad. Let me give you an example of the difference between a 10% deposit and a 20% deposit. So on the left hand side, we've got, or actually your right hand side, we've got someone that wants to buy a $650,000 house. $50,000 come from savings, $50,000 comes from Kiwisaver, and then $30,000 comes from their parents through ways of gifting. That means they need to borrow from the bank or another lender of $520,000, and so that is 20% deposit. So 50, 30 is 20% of $650,000. On this side, we've got someone that only has 10% deposit, so they've got $25,000 in savings, $30,000 in Kiwisaver, and they're also eligible to get the grant at $10,000. Meaning that they need to borrow $585,000 from the bank or a lender. So they've got to borrow 90% from the bank. On this side, they've only got to borrow 80% of the value of the property. And I've actually done a whole nother video series on, or video topic on LVR, and I'll put the link below. So that is how much you need to buy your first home. You either need to have ideally 20% deposit, but you can also buy a home with 10% deposit as long as you can demonstrate to the bank that you can borrow and service that 90% loan. So that is all for this week's 2-minute Tuesdays. Thumbs if you liked the video, thumbs if you loved it, and I'll see you guys next week.